going.
I kind of want to roll initiative.
D&D is chaos. Like, that is possibly one of the easiest definitions I could give to someone who doesn't know, is that it's chaos. My name's Thomas. I'm originally from England, but now I live in Florida. So D&D, I would say, is almost like the ultimate choose-your-own-adventure novel of, like, all time. The main thing that D&D is absolutely iconic for is the D20. This 20-sided die will be used for nearly everything. So you want to do a backflip to evade something, you roll for that. If you want to try and talk someone into doing something else, you've got to roll for that.
Weird.
That's awful. I would say it as a collaborative storytelling game. Well, my name is Jack Riggard. I'm from Douglasville, Georgia, about an hour away from Emory. It usually starts with all the people finally showing up and sitting at the table. And a quick recap of last session, you have the Dungeon Master and you have all the players. The Dungeon Master creates the world and they explain it out for you. Think of it like an RPG, but the computer is just a human and you guys just talk about it.
So D&D was actually very much tied to my roommate William. He explained to me what it was, and as someone who personally really liked the fantasy genre and just the aspects of storytelling, fighting dragons sounds pretty cool. So I went and did that. Usually for Dungeons and Dragons, like, it's a system, and a lot of times you need a good portion of creativity and time just to be able to have your own world, have your own systems in place. So what they decided to do was make campaign adventures. So you can go ahead and read out this book, and it has all these decent, like, encounters you can do. NPCs are made so you can, like, act them out. And of course you can add in a little bit of your own, like, touch to these. They're never set in stone. But these are, like, the main story adventures. Homebrew instead is now, you've looked at that system and you're gonna just start making your own thing, but you have that as, like, your base. Any particular ideas that you want for your backstory, like, so far? Making your own world's really hard, so I went ahead and used this world called Eberron as a base, but I really liked this aspect of making my own thing, and because you can use it to make whatever you want. Find out, like, how to get to Eden. They find the map and eventually find, okay. One of the main really fun things with D&D is that it's a lot like acting in that you can put on whatever persona you feel like acting for.
So this is where the infinite variables come in. You can choose race, class, background. You have skills. You have 6 skills: Constitution, Charisma, Dexterity, Wisdom, Intelligence, and Strength. When I make a character, I usually rip off of pre-existing media. I am not an original person. Oh, yes. My current character, Inigo Montoya. Inigo Montoya is just, like, stolen from The Princess Bride, a man looking for the man who killed his father.
You're not... It's Inigo. You base this off a movie character, and he's not Southern, you bastard. As a writer, as someone who wants to write down these things, you can't set the tone. It has this internal, like, pain of, oh, my poor child is being laughed at. But you have to learn to sort of let that go. It's not up to you to control.
Do you think this silliness detracts from, like, any kind of storytelling that is happening?
I want, like, beams to shoot out of my hands.
Please leave me alone.
Are you sure you didn't say 7-Eleven?
What?
It's gonna go through them like a lightning bolt.
Alright, so yeah,
So
alright.
go, you know?
Alright.
It's definitely situational. Poor Thomas.
I think it's still fun. It's always been a social game, so why try and dampen that social aspect? It's really fun seeing how people react to certain parts of the story, like seeing people interested in the world, and really fun to sort of, like, let those ideas out.
I've definitely learned that thinking outside of the box, especially in a more homebrew campaign, is rewarded in comparison to real life, where creative solutions aren't always wanted.
Yeah, sure, you roll the dice, you do the numbers, but there's a lot of sense of, like, oh, it's cringy, it's like you can't do anything with it, or it just feels, like, repulsive to, like, be around, but it honestly just comes down to enjoying yourself. If you enjoy yourself, like, everyone else starts enjoying themselves as well.
I think the audio would only improve the footage.
No, it's recording on that camera! You can hear it on that camera!
Modern